Good artist, copy. Great artist, steal. What are you? What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of How to Copy and Steal. My name is Chris. Before I get into it today, just want to remind everybody that this podcast is produced by a live studio. So if you are interested in doing something like this, please go to my website, bookalivestudio.com. You can scan the QR code down here and press pause, or just go to bookalivestudio.com. But for today's episode, I'm here with a special guest, someone that I've been inspired by, someone that I've worked with in the past before, someone that I low-key see as a mentor too, and someone who is really, he provides a creative mecca to people in San Diego. Like, you know, when you like hear about studios, you go to studios and like you pay all this money to like book a spot out, and then they're like, oh yeah, keys in the lockbox and have fun. You get me? he don't own a spot like that. It's completely different. I am here with Courtney Hendo.
What's up, my guy? I'm back again with the legend himself, Chris. You know what I'm saying? Copy and steal. Hey, all the stuff you was talking about me, I feel the same. That's what I feel about you. You know what I'm saying? You taught me everything about this podcast game. I wouldn't be here without you, bro.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, man. I'm you my so mentor.
Honestly, it makes me feel like, especially we were talking about like, you know, like business maturity, like it makes me feel really good to see your success. You get me? Because I'm happy to see that like the sauce works. You get me?
Bro.
Like and not only that, like like the process of like live to tape and like getting people out of their head when it comes to editing, like it's not needed. Like it's a drop in a bucket. Like just fucking get them done, trigger the assets live. It's more about the personality in you, and you came with all that. You get me? Like you definitely got the personality to be on camera, and you feel comfortable in front of the camera, or at least you make it seem like you feel real comfortable.
I do, but I gotta know what I'm talking about. But the thing about it is, you can do this, but you can do it more efficiently. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you taught me. Like when it came to the podcast game, when I first started, you know, I was just recording on cameras. Then we had to find somebody to edit. Then it'd take you 2 or 3 days to edit. You know what I mean? It was like, this is too much. Just too much work to do. Like I got other things I gotta do, you know? Then Chris came in, Copy and Still came in the game. Then he taught us a whole different, like, you know, format of how to do this, where you can pop out that content all the time with minimum effort. And that was life-changing. Not just game-changing, life-changing. So ever since then, bro, I've been trying to do the podcast thing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
So you're my mentor, mama. You know what I mean? Goddamn. You know what I'm saying? I ain't your mentor. What you talking about, man?
But yeah, no, I'm happy that I got to like bring you on. Like, I feel like there's a lot to your story that is inspiring for others in terms of like this content space is blowing up.
It is. Yep.
Everyone wants a piece of the pie, and everyone wants it from all perspectives, whether that's having your own show, having your own space, and, you know, driving people into your own business goals.
Right.
And I feel like you came at it from like way fucking left field. And I want to start in the beginning with like, you know, what was your, like, why did you even land in this space to begin with, where you have these 2 beautiful studios? We didn't even mention by my name. We're talking about Hendo Studios, which is in Kearny Mesa, and Hendo Loft, which is downtown. And again, like what I was going into, like other studios, like, again, you pay for a space and that's it. You just get the space.
Right.
You're doing it different. Like,
yeah, man.
You get the space with the lights, the equipment, and then on top of that, you got the man in the room who's helping you out. You get me?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's different, because like these other spaces, like the work that you can get out of it is only as good as the person that's there.
That's a fact.
But like when you like when people come in here, like you can come in here and kind of fucking learn too at the same time. Yeah. And like no one else is given that. Everyone is very detached from the studio ownership perspective. You get me? It's just like a fly, little birdie, fly. Like, and give me my money, and then I'm watching you on the cam. Like, you better get the fuck out because I got someone else coming in.
Right.
You get me? You don't do that. You build a relationship with your people that come in. You extend deadlines. Like, you build relationships, and it seems like you just have recurring business and family that comes in here. And there are people who I've seen come to you and like level up just by being exposed and like seeing the guy come out after them, and then they get to even ask them questions like, "Oh shit, what are you rocking? What are you doing?"
Yeah, so the reason why I feel that, just learning my demographics. So I used to shoot for Monster Energy, you know what I mean? And I shoot like the combat sports, like the MMA.
Mm-hmm. And before that, it was even different world.
Oh, before that?
You don't have to go deep into it, but just tell them what you did before, because it's fucking left field. Like,
So I worked at UCSD Hillcrest, man. I was in the medical field at the hospital. I worked in trauma and I worked in the ER. You know what I mean? So I pretty much did that. When people come in, just CPR, or whatever. It's like, crazy stuff.
That's wild. That's a different daily like fuckery of just like
delivering babies, everything. You know what I mean? It was I wanted to be a firefighter. You know what I mean? So that was my thing. I wanted to pursue being a firefighter, and at that time it was very hard, to obtain to be a firefighter. Because at that time everybody wanted to be a firefighter. So it was really challenging. So I became the RN, a nurse at UCSD Hillcrest, where trauma, then trauma tech, then a nurse. Then, bro, it was just, I loved it. It was cool, but it was a job, Chris. You know what I'm saying? And, bro, it was amazing. It was an amazing job, full of benefits, a lot of money, everything. But it was just, I had to go and work and deal with people politics and people telling me what to do all the time. And I didn't like it, bro. I got tired of it. I felt like I was a slave to this business, to the corporation, you know what I mean, to a job. And I had other people that, which are really good friends of mine. They're combat sports photographers, and I seen their lifestyle, bro. They're traveling the world, going to the exotic locations and countries and making millions and hundreds of $1,000s in shooting and freedom. I was like, God, bro, that's what I want to do, man. That's what I want to do. And one particular photographer, his name is James Law. And I was really good friends with him, and I seen the way he was traveling and moving, bro, and I was inspired. So I picked up a camera, got my little tax check.
What was your first camera?
Canon 70D.
Okay, I don't know shit about Canon, but I'm imagining that's ancient.
Yeah, now it is. Yeah, now it is. Yeah. So I got one of those. Then I was like, didn't understand that, this stuff is really expensive. So I bought my first camera. It was like $1,500 or something, like $1,000.
Back then, that's bad. That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a commitment. That's like a commitment big enough. Were you with your wife at the time?
I think I was. Yeah. I was. Actually, I was. Yep.
Was it a big enough commitment when she was like, "Why the fuck are you spending
Absolutely.
that?"
Absolutely.
Like, stay in the fucking hospital. Let's stay consistent.
Yeah. And what's so funny, Chris? I had that camera for like maybe 4 or 5 months. I said, I need something better. I need a full frame. Baby, I'm about to be a professional photographer. No, you're not. I need a full frame, baby. So I had to sell that camera and get a 5D Mark III, which is triple the price.
Yeah.
So that camera's like $3,500.
Just for the body.
Then you got to get the lens. Mm-hmm. That's another $2,000 or $3,000.
Yep.
So my wife was like, "Oh hell no!"
You had no kids at the time, right?
No
this
kids.
is way before.
No, we had a dog.
Hey, that's a kid, but I get you.
Yeah, bro. Then like everything else, got to get the laptop. So bro, I spent about 10,000, 15 grand on my first little run. And I started shooting at local gyms here in San Diego. I started shooting at local MMA gyms.
Mm-hmm. Were you training at them too? Or?
I was training too.
Okay.
I was training too. Yeah.
Was there low key a little bit of you that like wanted to be a fighter, or?
Yes, I tried that. I tried being a fighter before.
I got these fucking mitts. Like,
so Chris, I tried to be a fighter a long time ago, like in the late 2000s. You know what I'm saying? 2006, 2008. You know what I mean? I had that run already. Mm-hmm. I tried that, but it wasn't for me, bro. It wasn't for me.
You don't like getting hit?
No, it wasn't that, man. It was just that too. Yes. Let me tell you, you go in there, you train, bro, and it's like you're fighting. You're actually really in there fighting. So you're sparring all the time, getting hit, and bro, your body's sore. I gotta go work. I was like, bro, this is stupid. I'm not getting paid. Then they want to make me fight. They was trying to make me fight. I was like, how much am I getting paid to do this?
And that was back in the day where it was getting, they were selling their lives away on fucking
$100, $200. Chris, $100 to fight, $200 to fight. Then I got to sell tickets? Bro, this is stupid. Get my head beat in every day. 5 days a week, get my head beat in. You know, then you train two times a day before the camp. You gotta go through the camp. Then you gotta pay for it to get your head beat in for $200, and I gotta sell tickets for the business. This don't make no sense, bro. No, sir. So I stopped doing it, bro. I was like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it. So I quit MMA, but I still love the sport though. But it wasn't just for me, man.
And then you transitioned into Monster. Like, how did that like?
So what happened was I was working at UCSD Hillcrest, and my schedule was 7P to 7A.
Okay.
So 7 at night to 7 o'clock in the morning.
That's wild.
Then I was like, you know, at the time, San Diego was like the mecca of MMA, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the mecca. Like all the big names was coming here, the training here. Like, bro, all the superstars was coming into San Diego and training in San Diego. So I was like, you know what? I want to be like James Law. I want to be a professional photographer. I love photography.
Oh, shit.
Cool. So I started shooting at the local gyms here in San Diego. You know, Alliance MMA, SD Combat. You know, everybody. You know, all the big gyms here in San Diego, and I started shooting there, shooting all the local fighters' content and everything. And at the time, like nobody was really doing this. It was only a couple of photographers in the whole industry was kind of doing this. Mm-hmm. So I'm shooting the fighters, sparring and training and everything like that. And they'll take those photos and they'll post them on social media, and I put my name on them. You know what I mean? So after like 6-7 months, bro, my name started spreading like wildfire. Who's shooting these photos? Who's shooting these crazy photos in the gym?
Can I ask, was it anything like crazy or like, because like I feel like a lot of people, they think like, oh, like a good lens, good glass, like it does the trick. Like, was it like you were forming a style, or was you like you were bringing something into the industry that like wasn't being seen before? Like people were just used to seeing shit shot with phones or something like that. Like what was it about it that made you stick out and made them want you?
Well, I wasn't the only person doing this. We had like Ryan Loco, which is another popular MMA photographer. Mm-hmm. James Law was more on a commercial side, so he wasn't doing it. It was like pretty much me and Ryan Loco. Ryan Loco's way bigger than me, you know what I mean? But I was inspired by these guys.
Yeah.
But with me, I felt like I was capturing a lot of the emotions and things like that. But it wasn't. I think I was good.
Question: did those guys train as well, or
Ryan Loco? No.
Yeah. No. Okay.
No.
So I feel like, would you say? And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like, was it the fact that you were able to train, the fact that you were on the mat with them at some point, allowed you to get their personality out on camera, or like, what was it?
No, I think what really helped me with training and actual shooting, actual combat sports, was the timing. I felt like I can understand what they were going to do next. You know what I mean? So I can see how he's moving his arm here or this, do that, and I can see that he's going to be throwing a right hook or a jab or whatever. I can predict what the opponent's going to do.
Yeah.
So I think that was like the biggest, you know, asset I had from just, you know, training. You know what I mean? But other than that, bro, it was just all learning, you know, timing. And I had this 5D Mark III, which is 6-7 frames per second, which is nothing. It's like
at the time, though, it was probably crazy, but yeah,
it's what I can afford.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because now, like the 1DX is like 10,000 just for the camera body.
Yeah,
so
fucking
it's the only thing.
Your whole SD card, just right. Hold your shit down for 1 second, like
right.
My bad.
Right. So I had to use what I can afford. So 6-7 frames per second. So I had to sit there and time. You know. It was like that. I had to really time my shots, but I felt like I said, my biggest thing that kind of developed my style was me capturing their emotions, like the fighters crying, you know what I mean, or the fighters like really tired out their training or something like that, you know what I mean. But it was brilliant because these fighters took those images and they posted them on social media, so it was marketing me for free.
Yeah. And
like I said, it was some of the biggest names: the Dominic Cruzes, the Jeremy Stevens, you know, the Phil Davises, Cat, you know, everybody, anybody you could think of.
Those are all the Ultimate Fighter dudes.
Bro, huge. And it was so crazy to me that I was Michael Chandler's first photographer, bro.
That's wild.
Bro, I'm telling you.
That's wild.
Michael Chandler's first photographer, bro. It was crazy. I remember Michael Chandler before he even got big or anything, bro. Yeah. Like, you know, in the gym, he used to train over here at a Victory MMA, this regular fighter. He was good, but he wasn't the Michael Chandler before, but one of the hardest workers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I got to see that before, like, them at a ground level, growing up, you know, trying to being a professional fighter. So it was amazing. So my name was spreading around the MMA community of this for photographers shooting these dope shots in San Diego. Monster Energy reached out because they sponsor a lot of the fighters that are in that gym. You know what I mean? What Monster does, they sponsor the best fighters in the world. And we had a lot of those in San Diego. So Monster Energy, seeing those photos, they needed a photographer. They hired me as a photographer. I quit my job and started traveling the world. Traveling the world doing photography. The shit was just, Chris.
That's wild.
Chris.
That's manifestation, though.
Chris. Life was just unbelievable shit, bro. Unbelievable. Shooting the John Joneses, the Conor McGregors, the Ronda Rouseys, kicking it with them every day. You know what I mean? Just hanging out with them and just hanging out with them for their camps and stuff like that. Document them for Monster. To going to the actual shows, the fights and shooting their fights, bro. It was.
When you were working at Monster, was it like, did they give you equipment? Like, what was the deal there? It was just you bring your shit. Like, they know you're good. Like,
yeah. So Monster,
was it the guy that, if I'm not mistaken, there's like the guy with like a mustache
Yes.
that like he be kicking cans out of people's fucking hands.
Yes.
And like, he had a lot of. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, me and him had a falling out. But long story short, he gave me my first opportunity, which I'm grateful for. So yes, he's the person that kind of discovered me. Then he signed me to Monster. So I was a subcontractor for Monster. So I didn't work really under Monster. I was subcontracted out.
Okay.
So they just used me for, just shooting all their content.
Okay.
But I wasn't a direct employee. I was just subcontractor. So they signed.
Tax time must have been a fucking bitch, dog.
Bro, crazy.
Especially if you're traveling and keeping track of that shit. I just did my taxes yesterday, and like, what the fuck, dog? You're talking about different currencies.
Yeah.
You're talking about fucking mileage.
See, now you know.
It's fucking insane.
Let me tell you what's crazier, Chris. Like Monster, they pay you every 8 months.
What?
Yeah. So Chris, I quit my job.
That's fucking disrespectful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's disrespectful as fuck.
If even that, sometimes longer, bro. They do not, bro. Oh my God,
You're
bro.
fucking working for free, like
Yes.
essentially drinking cool. Like, oh, you chilling with Ronda Rousey,
Yes.
right? Like,
Oh, I'm poor.
that's
Help
fucked
me.
up. Did
Help
they
me.
feed you at all? Like,
So yeah, so it was cool though. So the cool thing about it was that was like the hardest. I think that was probably like one of the hardest transitions in my life. So I got signed to Monster, quit my job. Now I'm traveling the world, right? I'm on traveling the world, shooting. So the cool thing about Monster, they pay for everything.
Yeah.
They pay for your flights, they pay for your food,
Okay.
they pay you good, everything. But you don't get that paycheck until it takes 6, 7, 8 months down the line.
God damn.
So I had to learn the art of budgeting and using credit cards. Because I exhausted everything in my bank accounts, as you can imagine, going with no money for 6, 7, 8 months.
That's fucking insane.
So I had to learn I got like 4 or 5 credit cards, and I was using credit cards for everything, maxing out my limits. I was like, bro, I need this paycheck. I'm about to die. I have no more money. Then all of a sudden, like, it seems like right before you spend your last dollar, you got $100,000 paycheck coming. Boom, right there. So you got $100,000. You're like, oh my God, yes.
Now I can pay everything off. Like, be at fucking 15, like what I originally fucking had. God damn. Dog.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. So that's the biggest paycheck you ever gonna see in your life, 100 racks or whatever it is, but they paid you. But, they pay you really well. So I got paid really good. So that paycheck is so nasty. So that first year, 8 months, I didn't get paid, Then after that, I got that little paycheck. Then I saved that. Like you said, pay my stuff off and it's saved.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it was rough, bro. But
Was wifey working full time at that time and just like trusting that you out there making
bro.
a fucking living for both of you? That's wild. That's love.
Bro, yeah, man. I'm so lucky she stayed with me because I started traveling so much, bro. Like I was gone every day for like 4 or 5 years.
Jesus.
I was gone because I had to shoot the fighters, their camps, their fights, all that.
This was around like their heyday, like when Ronda Rousey was fucking
bro.
fucking shit up.
Yep.
She put female fighting on the map
Yes,
before
sir.
Gina Carano and things like that. Like,
Well, this was before Conor was even popular. I was shooting Conor.
did you see the fall of Ronda Rousey?
Yes.
How was that, though? I would hate to be in the fucking room with her after that head kick.
It hurts because I wouldn't tell you like me and Ronda Rousey was tight like that.
Yeah.
I was more tight with more people than Ronda Rousey, but I did see her fall. But the crazy thing about it is like I seen her fall, but it's like I seen the person behind it. You know what I mean? I seen the way the fans treated her. You know what I mean? And she's not she's a really good person. She's a real nice person. And when people just drag you in the mud and just try to tarnish your whole legacy, all the stuff that you accomplished in this sport, you know, and contribute to this sport, and people just drag that shit in the mud. That was the thing that I seen, you know, hurt me the most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when Ronda Rousey's up here, everybody's on your nuts, bro. When Ronda Rousey's here, bro, everybody's your best friend. You have everybody's you on top of the world. Everybody's on your, you know, your biggest fan. But when you're on the bottom, when you lose one fight, oh, she's whack. Oh, her striking's horrible. She's the worst fighter ever. Oh man.
Yeah.
Man, it was crazy. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean?
So what sparked your transition into actually getting a studio? Like, what made you even want to do that? Because, like, it seemed like you were living the life that you sought out. You get me?
Yes.
So, like, what was it that where you weren't getting fulfilled from? Or I don't even know. I don't want to put words in your mouth. But what made you go this again? I wouldn't even say a 180, but like, you know, pivot.
There's a couple of things. There's a lot of things that's happening. I was working for a really big corporation that I started seeing some really political stuff that I never was exposed to before. You know, nothing. I'm not gonna say anything about Monster Energy, but you can Google my name, you'll understand it. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff behind the scenes, the way these corporations work and then the way they move, and that turned me off. That was the biggest thing. Another thing was I was working every day. I was gone every day. I didn't have a life. I was traveling around the whole world shooting, bro, every day. So I'll leave on Mondays, Monday mornings, Sunday night or Monday morning. Hold on, no, I'm sorry. I leave on Wednesdays. I leave on Wednesday morning, and I'm gone for all day, all week until Sunday nights. Shit. So I come back Sunday nights when the fights are done. You know what I mean? Whatever the UFC fight is, I have to be there.
And work's not done for you at that point, because then you offloaded shit into the fucking computer, and then you're still working,
bro. So I leave on Wednesdays, get back home Sunday nights.
Yeah.
So I'm off Monday and Tuesdays. On Monday and Tuesdays, this dude, you know, the guy that you was talking about, had me doing side projects. So Monday and Tuesday I had to work on my days off. Then I'm leaving back Wednesday, gone again for 5 years, bro. Straight around the world, shooting everything. That's stressful. I don't have a life. You're living out of hotels. Then yes, you hanging around all these superstars, but after you see them like 5 or 6 times, they become regular people to you. Yeah. So it's like, okay, cool. I seen Conor McGregor. Cool. I know Conor McGregor now. It's nothing. He's nothing. He's Chris. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Nothing. What I'm saying. He's
I would hope to fucking be committed to that paycheck. But not the bad shit that he's doing. You can keep that
I'm saying like,
I get you. No, I didn't mean like that. It's just another person.
He's like, another person I know.
You see the human being in them, and you don't glorify them as much.
Thank you for articulating that. Thank you, because I don't want people thinking like Chris is shit. You know what I mean? No. So I
beat old men at the bar. I cheat out myself.
Right. So you don't have a life, man. You get tired of traveling, man. And it's like, okay, I don't have a relationship. I don't see my wife ever, you know? So it's like, then another thing is like, I'm shooting the same stuff all the time. I'm going to the same places. I mean, it's like it became redundant. So it was an amazing situation, an amazing, you know, journey, but it's time to start to kind of, you know, put out more goals and start conquering more goals. I feel like I conquered all my goals already in that, you know, that niche, you know what I mean? So I wanted to do something else. So I was like, okay, let's start doing something that I can do, you know, and challenge myself on a different business set, you know? So I always wanted a studio, because we went to a lot of studios when we traveled, you know, and I said, let me do something where I can stay home and I can have a family and take care of my kids and make good money. So I was like, I'm gonna start a studio. So I started a studio here in San Diego, and bro, that was one of the hardest things I ever did.
Yeah, I think you told me like some stories where like it was you and wifey living in here.
Yes.
And this fucking psych wall, like you built it with her dad, like this is all made from scratch.
Yes. So Chris, what happened was when I quit Monster, I had a falling out with that guy. So we had a falling out. So he blackballed me from the industry. So I couldn't work in MMA ever again because he got mad because I quit. It was crazy, bro. So I got hit with the political thing, so I couldn't make any more money. So now I had a lot of money saved up. So not knowing how to run a brick and mortar business, like a actual location, there was a lot of trial and error. So I'm spending stuff. I'm spending a lot of money. I gotta renovate this whole place. I'm learning at the same time how to market this business. Bro, I exhausted most of my money. So we had to sell everything we had And me and my old lady, we had to stay in this actual location to get it up because I was spending so much and no money was coming in, but a lot of money was going out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you start a business, it takes about a year or two for you to, even more, to even start making money.
It's 5 normally. Is
right.
Like if you make it past the 5-year mark, then
right.
something is bound to happen, but you just got to be heads down for that first 5 years. And
yes, sir.
Go through the shit. Can I ask, were all the things you bought, did you see them as necessary, and were they like top of the line? Like what are we talking about here? Because I see like you got the fucking C-stands, you got the fucking pro photos,
right?
You have the backdrops, you've got the apertures with the separate power boxes. Like you got a lot of shit. Like, did you start out with all of that?
Yes. Let me tell you, and Chris, this is one thing that you got to learn, and this is what I want to learn and take this as an educational moment. My biggest problem I did when I started the studio, I didn't do my due diligence of studying my clientele and see what they needed. You know what I'm saying? I was only accustomed to what I'm used to shooting with and what I was doing. Like I was traveling the world shooting at the highest level in the biggest, best studios because Monster has an unlimited budget. Yeah. So I'm shooting with Pro Photo. Mm-hmm. To me, that's standard. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, me going across the world shooting these big locations, that's what they had. That's what I knew what they had. So, okay, cool. I never seen Godox or Westcott. No, I seen Pro Photo.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, start my own studio. I got to get Pro Photo. Biggest mistake I ever had. I probably spent 30, 40 grand on just Pro Photo.
God damn.
Just Pro Photo.
Can I ask, what year was this? Because like
2018.
Okay, so the landscape wasn't even, because right now, like, there are so many fucking other brands.
Right.
Aperture has their fucking, discounted brands, and like like the barrier for entry is so fucking low. You get me? Every camera shoots 4K. I mean, shit, your fucking phone can shoot 4K 120 log.
Right.
You get me? Like, that's fucking wild.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like you, in order to stand out, like you needed to make those moves. You get me?
Not necessarily. It was just what I knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
do you think that there were other like alternatives when you were starting your studio?
It was a lot of different alternatives, but it's like my mindset was if Nike comes in here, they're gonna expect the best.
They're gonna have a writer of just like before they even come to the door, like we need these things.
Yes.
I get you.
Like I said, I work with all the big brands. I work for Nike, the Reeboks, all that, and that's what they wanted. They want the best of the best. So that's why I thought I needed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but that was my biggest problem. Like when I start buying all that expensive stuff, my clientele, like San Diego, was a different clientele. It's more of a hobbyist, culture here in San Diego. So what I mean by that is there's a lot of photographers that shoot for fun. They have full-time jobs, but they come back and shoot for fun. With me, I shot for a living. You go to LA, they shoot for a living. You know what I'm saying? So that can be justified in LA. You know what I mean? They got bigger companies LA is kind of built for that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. Chicago's built for that. New York is built for that Pro Photo. But San Diego, when my clients came inside of San Diego to this location, that was like driving like a NASCAR to them. They was like, that was over their head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're used to shooting with Godox. They're used to just shooting the regular stuff. So I lost a lot of business in the beginning because of that. And it forced me to be there to do this, lighting for them because they didn't know how to use it. Mm-hmm. So it forced me to, be there all the time, working every day, 14, 16-hour days, to get this business up. Because I had to help them with lighting because people didn't know lighting.
Can I ask, did you start to see any sort of like residual come from that where it's just like, you're educating at that point, and like, were there people that like, did you see them value that? Because no, because like I said, they didn't care. They don't care about learning lighting techniques, bro. They just want fucking lighting is everything. It's fucking everything.
Everything.
You can make a shoebox with a pinhole look amazing if you got the right fucking lighting.
Yep. And also, Chris, I was so frustrated. I'm like, bro, like, you guys don't want to learn lighting? No, they don't want to learn that. And they just want some good outcomes. They want this good pictures. That's the only thing they want. But I can understand that because you're not trying to be Chris. I'm not trying to be the best of the best photographer or podcast, produce company, whatever it is. I just want some good, decent results I can post on Instagram. I'm not trying to travel the world and learn this pro photo stuff and learn 20 different lightings and all that. No, because I got a full-time job I make good money on. Yeah. I do this for fun. This is a hobby.
Did any piece of you ever want to like, well, one, no, I guess not, being they didn't see the value in it, but did you ever pursue the thought of like, maybe I should like start teaching, like create some sort of course or some sort of like in-person day where it's just like learn fucking pro photo, and then you attract those clients that are just like, all right, I want to learn that, and then now that I learned that, like, there's nowhere else I'm going. You get me? No one else has this shit.
I did. So in the beginning, my whole thought process was, I want to treat it like a gym. Like, you know, you have these different times of the day and you can learn Lightroom, you can learn Photoshop, you can learn lighting and all that. Guess how many people showed up?
I'm guessing a big
2.
Oh, damn.
2. I was charging $20. $20 to learn it.
Nothing.
$20 a person.
That's nominal, dog. That's impulse buy.
Chris, nobody showed up. So I'm like, okay, cool. So did more classes. Nobody showed up. Nobody cared. Nobody showed up. Mm-hmm. So nobody cared. So I was like, all right. So I get it. I understand it. You know how to learn. But we're talking about 2 years in. You know what I mean? Paying all these expenses. Mm-hmm. So money's running short. So we got to figure this out. This is the only thing I got. You know, I can't make any money anywhere else. You know, so this is all I have right now. So we got to make something work. So I said, okay, baby, we got to switch everything up. So I started switching things up in the studio. Mm-hmm. I started adding, you know, these.
What was the psych wall an immediate thing? Or
no.
Oh wow.
No.
Okay.
So that's one of the things I had to switch up.
Okay.
So I started asking my clients, what do you want in the studio? Oh, we don't want these pro photos. Then we don't need these pro photos. Motherfucker, I crap the world. You know this $40,000 on this bitch. You know what fuck I get this $50,000. You know what this is? They don't care about none of that. No. So I started asking. I was like, okay, we need this, we need that, we want this, we want continuous lights, we want this, we want props, all that. Completely different from what I learned. Mm-hmm. Completely different. So it was alien. It was like an alien to me. So I started adding more props in the studio. I built the psych wall myself. You know what I mean? Well, not myself. Pull that back. Me and my wife and my father-in-law, you know, and my dad, we built this thing in here all ourselves, you know. And I started adding the colorful lights, the RGB lights up top and all that. Then when I started listening to my clients, bro, the money started coming.
Yep.
The money started coming. And it was so funny, right? Because people was coming in and people was talking shit about the studio. Oh, this studio wag. They got this pro photo stuff, yada, 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 yada. Oh, they got this background. Then I start, like I said, implementing everything people wanted. Bro, man, this studio started blowing up, bro. Like within a year span, bro, we just went from 0 to 100. It just went crazy. And the studio started moving. You know, then the crazy thing about it is the more busy the studio became, the more I had to work. Mm. So, bro, I'm working every day. We booked out every day, man. Just gone. You know what I mean? So I had to learn that. Now I'm trying to switch the business up now because I'm kind of burnt out from working all the time.
Yeah. Can I ask, how was that transition? Because, like, you had said, like, coming from the medical field and going into, you know, corporate with Monster, like, the biggest thing was, like, having a boss and, like, you know, like, having someone to report to and having someone, like, it's one of those things where, like, when you have a boss, and, like, I know a lot of people feel it, where it's just like, if you succeed, it's their success. Yep. If you fuck up, it's your fuck up. Like, yep. It ain't their fuck up, it's your fuck up.
Yep.
What was that transition for you? Because, like, a lot of people want to get into business for that same exact reason, but then they fall short forgetting that, like, it's not that you don't have a boss. You are your own boss.
Yes.
You have to be that person now that tells you what the fuck to do. You get me? And 100%. It's like you fighting your inner self. So how was that transition for you?
It was a learning curve, man. It was very hard. And that's probably one of the hardest things, because when you start a business, like you said, you have all the responsibility. And the biggest thing I had to learn is, like, all these different roles. You know what I mean? And I wasn't really versed on business. So, like I said, it was a learning.
Did you ever take any, like, sort of business courses, business 101?
Yeah, I have a business degree.
Oh, shit.
But it's different from actually going out there and learning yourself and doing it yourself, bro. It's crazy. It's two different worlds. Mm-hmm. So then you got to learn marketing. You got to learn customer service. You got to learn sales. You got to learn all that. You know what I mean?
Systems, funnels, getting
Taxes.
people in the door, replying to them. Fucking
Yeah.
your session's been booked. Like
Yes.
I get you. It's a lot.
Yes. Dealing with people. I'm working in the studio every day. You got to learn taxes, bookkeeping, marketing, like I said, sales, all that, all those different roles, you know, business systems, everything that I had to learn throughout the years to make this thing work. You know what I mean? You'll make all this money, but then you got to pay, 30%, 40% in taxes. You be like, what? What?
You didn't have no one teach you. You just got to buy something really big so you can write it.
Yes. Chris, I had to eat that in the first couple years, bro, because I ain't learned that. It was all trial and error.
Yeah.
I had to learn that. You know, you get this all this money, and then you get most of it's gone in taxes. Then you got to learn how to really structure your business to a LLC, then get taxed as a S corp, and then you know how to write things off. You know, showing you make money, showing that you lost money, all that stuff. You know what I mean? All these little shortcuts. I had to learn that. You know what I mean? Then you start, getting your lawsuits. You getting sued.
You got sued
$250
for what?
watching a UFC fight in here.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was
All those little
That's well, yeah.
bro. There's all those little things that you learn from. I'm grateful because it taught me from all my pitfalls and all my failures. It taught me everything, bro. Everything, all this stuff. And now I feel like I'm a wealth of knowledge now because all the shit that I've been through. Bro, it's been hell, bro.
Can I ask you, if you had to start all over again, what would you do differently, if anything?
I will implement a system that you don't have to work it. I won't be the worker. I'll figure out a way to start a business that it runs itself.
Okay.
That without you working it. So
Can I ask, would you still hold on to your educational component, or do you feel like that's no longer a service needed?
You need the education, but I will find the smartest people around me and try to hire them.
I get you.
Instead of me trying to learn marketing, I'm going to hire somebody who is the top of the game. That's what they want to do with their life is marketing, and hire them. Instead of me trying to sit here and learn how to do a podcast at the highest level, I'm a hire Copy and Still to do that. You know what I mean? Because that's what Copy and Still does. You know what I mean? Me doing sales, I'm going to hire somebody doing sales.
Yeah.
I can't learn all those different things. You can't work. It's going to be very hard for you to work to make $1 million.
Yeah.
But when you implement a system that the business runs itself, and you just focus on the growth of the business and keeping the business alive and afloat and running forward, that's what you need to do, bro. And I'm learning that because what I did, I worked every day, 14, 13, 14, 15 hours a day, every day.
Shit.
Every day, bro, for like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And bro, I'm burning. I'm burnt right now, bro. Burnt. That's the biggest thing I would say, man. Figure out a way that the business can, run without you being there. It can be duplicatable.
Would you still get the best of the best? Like, is pro photo even a thing? Like, in your mind, are these things necessary now?
I will get it if it's all about my clientele once again. So learn your clientele and see what they want.
Yeah.
If I was in LA, yes. If I'm in San Diego on a smaller market, no.
Dog, did you hear that San Diego is starting to I think it's like SDSU, like somewhere in Chula Vista, they're building like a fucking
Good luck with that.
movie production space where like the first 2 floors are going to be for the school to learn, and then the second 2 floors are literally just psych walls with fucking TVs, like everything that Disney's doing. I remember we were talking about it, like the whole idea of like a projection studio where like fuck the lights, like you can actually put the background behind them. You don't have to add those reflections and post, like remove green screens from shit. Like they may put a bike on the middle and fucking going through the road and it's just a footage of a road going by you type of shit.
Yeah. But the biggest thing is that I don't understand that it can be done in San Diego, but it's gonna be very hard because you're gonna have to find the people to rent that out. You know what I mean, and support that studio. I
mean, do you feel like I hate to talk about like everything that just went down in LA, but I feel like that what happened in LA would only enforce that like San Diego may be the next fucking spot.
I thought about that, Chris, but I think it'll be very hard still because everybody's still in LA. Like these big sound stages are still in LA. The movie stars and all the people, the grips, everybody, they're living in LA. So they have to, what's going to get them from LA to come to San Diego while they got everything already and still in LA?
Yeah.
You know, it's not just building a soundstage or a big studio. You also got to find the people who are going to run that. Mm-hmm. You guys find the people who's going to, you know, has the professional, you know, background to know how to film a movie.
Yeah.
Do you know how to work a RE camera? How many people you know in San Diego know how to work a RE camera?
Those are monsters. And
right.
then the shit is like the files that come out of that is a fucking headache. You'll hit a record button for like 1 minute. You got fucking 70 gigs of footage.
Yes.
You don't even got computers that can open that up. Like you think your computer can open that up, but next thing you know, you got to fucking invest in another hard drive just to even look at the footage.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the sound stages, like, you know, the lighting, you know, that's probably $1 million in lighting. Who's know how to, how many people in San Diego know how to run that type of lighting for a sound stage?
Yeah.
They barely come here. They don't know the lighting in here. This ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Bro, you go to, this studio is nothing in LA, bro. This is nothing.
so like you say that, but I don't know. Like I disagree. Where it's just like I've been to some spaces where like clients have me come out to places, and it feels very disingenuous. It feels very like, what the fuck, like. I paid to be here, and like there are some people who can rework the art of an ultra wide lens and make you think a spot is big as fuck, and then next thing you know, no, they just used a 10 millimeter in a fucking 5x5 box. Good luck, keys on the door. Like,
well, question, are you gonna do that to Nike though? So if Nike comes and hire you to do that, are you gonna perform like that for Nike?
Oh no, God no! Like
those type of people are going to be able to afford to do that type of studio. Yeah, your budget's going to be $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 budgets. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So what company is going to be, you're not going to cut ends, working for these big companies. They're gonna want you to, like the big hard drives and the best of the best video quality, the lighting and all that.
Overnight shipping of hard drives. And
right,
shit
bro.
Like that.
Yeah, all that.
That's
so
crazy.
You still got to have to bring the people from LA to bring down here to run those type of studios, I feel, because I don't feel like we don't have that resources here in San Diego.
No, I get you. I think what I was trying to get at was just that I feel like what you have is special just from the educational perspective.
For sure.
The fact that like it's not just a key on the door and good luck and you better be out on time and you have fucking some owners that like literally just be sitting at home fucking looking at their Ring cam. You get me? Yeah. Just like, hey, I saw you take that. Like, you better put that shit back. And like, I get you. Like, it's a thing, but it just feels very disingenuous. Yeah. And I feel like you really build, relationships with people that come in here. And I think that's where like Hendo stands out. You know what I mean?
It's pretty cool, man. I appreciate the love, bro. I really appreciate the love, man, because I put my heart and my whole soul into this. And it's really cool me being here because you do learn and you do build those relationships with people, and you build a lot of cool friendships and rapport with a lot of different people, man. It's never a dull moment here, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's definitely the best part about it. But on the flip side, working every day that's not sustainable. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing.
Before we move on to like what your next steps are, I want you to I want to know like what is your best piece of advice for someone who wants to pursue building their own studio? Where should they even start? Like, I know there are some people who are like, oh, I got an extra bedroom, I can just do it there. You get me? And some people think the other way, where it's just like, hey, I need to get a loan and I need to, get a space out. Like, there's a lot of different routes you can go nowadays. What is your best advice for people? I
would say, man, once again, figure out what type of studio you want to build first. Figure out your clientele, how you're going to make money. Yeah. That's the biggest thing, bro. Like, what are your revenue sources? Try to find 6 different ways you can produce revenue 6? In that studio. Is that around there? Yeah. Around there. And of course, it's going to be very hard finding 6, but around there. Because if one revenue stream drives up, you want to have other streams of revenue coming in. Mm-hmm. And your overhead might be a little... Can you give some examples of that? Like, is we talking like photography? Yeah. Photography, videography, podcasting, consulting, merch. You can sell merch. You can sell prints. You know what I mean? You can have a photography. You can have photographers and videographers and go out and do something outside the studio. You can have a photography team, things like that. You know what I mean? contracts, because I had contracts too with other companies. We just provided content for those companies. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different ways you can make money in the studio for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of different ways.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Listening, fucking understand your audience first.
Yes, because that's the biggest thing, because they're going to be consuming your product. So, like I said, my biggest problem was when I started the studio, that I built the studio from what I wanted. You know what I mean? Oh, this is a reflection of me, but I'm not consuming the product. They're consuming the product. So you got to kind of build that studio around. That's just my advice: is build that studio around your consumers. Yeah. See what they want.
Is there any piece of game? Because like, you know, I mean, you learned from the hard way of like building the space and communicating with people coming in the door. Do you have any advice for someone who just wants to learn first without necessarily taking the leap, so that when they do take the leap, they know who the fuck I'm servicing?
Well, the only way you can do that is go, work for another studio. So you can do an internship with another studio to get that, that experience. And what I had to do, I had to go to LA, and learn from people from LA when I wanted to be a photographer. But I didn't. That was my biggest problem when I started this studio. It was just all hustle. It was all trial and error, bro. So I lost a lot of money because of that. So yeah, you might have to go to LA and learn from those studios in LA, man. And when I learned photography, like on that another level, like shooting like commercial photography, I had to go be, the what do we call it, assistants. I had to be an assistant to other big photographers, and that shit sucked. That sucked, bro. I had to be the grip. I had to be the assistant. It's like you're a slave on those big productions. Yeah, it sucked, bro. Yeah, it sucked.
Question: What's your thoughts on like using external services like Peerspace? Like, because you have your website. I don't know how much traffic comes into your website versus like other tools. Like, do you have any game from that perspective?
Yes, Peerspace is good for a filler. I know a lot of people who, bro, this is like one of the biggest. That's a good question. This is like one of the biggest mistakes you ever can make. People put their whole website. People make their Peerspace their website. I think that's the biggest mistake you ever could do for a studio. Number one, Peerspace is taking 30% of whatever you're making.
God damn.
30%. That's like a business partner, Chris. That's probably your cut. Chris, that's your cut. 30%. That's your profit. 30% of whatever you make, bro. Yeah. It makes no sense, bro. Then if anything happens, Peerspace, that's their clientele. That's not your clientele. They're going through Peerspace and using that platform. So let's say something happened and you need to take care of your business on Peerspace. All those 90% of them clients is gonna go back to Peerspace and go to another studio. Yeah, so that's the biggest thing, bro. No, use Peerspace as a filler. I started using Peerspace on my second studio, and the one downtown, and I seen that immediately. I was like, okay, cut, limit my the income that's coming from Peerspace, and do a lot of marketing. So you want to get more the people coming into that business than actually using Peerspace. I use Peerspace when it's like really slow. When it's really slow, okay, cool. Peerspace is a good filler.
Can I ask, how did you do that branding marketing? Was it one of these things where like you built a new space, you were inviting creatives over to create there, and like kind of put it on the map? Like what was the strategy behind that from starting from scratch? So
beginning, I had to number one figure out what your client wants. Then after that, I had to build a space to what their needs were. Then like my clients, they like props. You know what I mean? So I started doing things that could really bring people in. So you need something in that studio that's going to attract the people. Like, for example, when I put that laser inside the studio, when people start seeing that laser, bro, that's going to get them in every time. That's going to get them in every time. So you need something in that studio that's going to attract them, like a main prop, a main, service or whatever it is that's going to attract the people. The one downtown, what I'm starting to learn right now is like every month or two, we're flipping these sets in the studio.
Almost like reflecting holidays. Like,
right. So right now we have a Valentine's Day set in there. Okay. We had a Christmas set. Now Mother's Day is coming up next, so we're gonna do something for the Mother's Days. So you need something always in those studios that's gonna attract the people coming in. You need something that's gonna attract them. Then when you get there, when they get there, you want to create an experience. It's all about their experience. You know what I mean? Help them out. You know what I mean? whatever it is, just make them happy.
Can I ask,
Customer service.
do you service both spots like hands-on, or is Loft one of those spots where you can be hands-off?
Right. So the Loft is one of those hand-off spots. You just punch in the code, you go in there and
The
use
lights
it.
aren't there and everything.
Yes.
There, or are they?
No lights. Only got continuous lights in there.
Okay.
I had to make that really simple because they want to come in. They just a really simple spot, but at the same time they can have really good results. They can come in there and use their cell phone. So it's a natural lighting studio.
Okay.
Now that studio is making damn near more money than this studio.
Oh, wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm here working 14, 15-hour days and making good money in here, but that studio's doing damn near the same.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Figure out a good business model that you can replicate without you working it. Now pretty soon I'm gonna have a life.
Yeah.
Now I can be able to see my kids. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean.
I get you.
Now, if I keep on duplicating that business model, bro, that's how you're gonna make your money. But me working 14, 16-hour days every day, and making the same amount of money, it's a no-brainer, bro. It's a no-brainer. That's what I mean. Like, you can't sit here and it's gonna be very hard for you to work to make $1 million. So that's what I say. Figure out a way to structure that business where it can run itself and generate revenue. Yes.
Oh, sure. So what? Also, my bad. Go. Do your thing.
Also, another thing too is social media. Make sure you have a really strong social media presence. So I'm about to hire a whole little social media team to run both of these studios. Once I get my other studio, I'm gonna hire a whole social media team, and we're just gonna pump out content all the time.
Are these people in person? Like, what are we talking about, team?
Yeah. So what their responsibility is gonna do, they gotta run to these other studios and create content.
Okay.
Like for both studios. I just want to pop out content right now. Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, this perfectly segues into like what I want to talk about next, was just like, what is next for you? Like, what's next on the horizon for Hendo?
Well, right now, like I said, restructure this business. Though I have more time to focus on actually the growth of these studios, podcasting and putting out content. I want to start venturing more into the podcast realm and start doing more for like, hip hop. I want to start producing content in hip hop, documentaries, short documentaries, podcasts, things of that nature. So more like a personality in hip hop journalism. Hip hop journalism. I had to pop, get that off the head.
It's coming to you.
So a journalist. I want to be more like a hip hop journalist. That's my new thing.
How do those things, are they gonna play hand in hand? Like, is it one of those things where like once this succeeds, like it'll funnel into business, or like do you want them to be two separate revenue lanes where like one maybe doesn't stand the chance to like affect the other type of deal?
Anytime I start a business, I try to, once again, I try to have six different ways of revenue. So I'm just trying to find the 6 different ways, and I can make money in that, but at the same time grow an audience and figure out what people want. So what I'm doing right now, this is something like it's new for me. So I'm still like doing my education, my due diligence before I just jump all into it and put all my money into it. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure out what works in that lane and see what's driving the best results. Then once I find that, then I can start investing more money into it.
I get you.
So right now I see that, documentaries are really, they're doing really big numbers, you know what I mean? Especially on YouTube.
Dog, YouTube is a gold mine right now from what I'm hearing. Like, and it's even from like the perspective, like I've been seeing like more numbers have been going out that like smaller channels are hitting it big, and they're hitting it big with like unproduced content. Like people want to see that raw, like fucking put your phone on the dashboard and just talk your shit. I don't care if the sun's right behind you. Like, they're there for the journey. And I think, YouTube understands like whoever puts butts in seats, you get me? Like, you can't just keep serving up the big dogs because, there's no one else going to come to the fucking platform. So I've seen like a lot of newer shows, they're showing up on the main page. They're getting that shine, that love. But I think consistency is still key. You get me? Like,
1,000%.
You're not going to pop off from episode 1 to 10 unless you get fucking lucky, like Miss Haktua, who just had a good fucking night. But still, like, you got to get to 100.
100%. 1,000%, man. And one thing I noticed also is building our audience. Once you build our audience, bro, you got them, man. You got to build up. Once you get it, you can sell, merch to them, they're like a cult. It's like a cult like following. They're gonna support whatever you do once you build that audience.
Yeah.
Like we had that little MMA podcast, bro. Like it was a cult like following, bro.
We had a tribe.
Woo.
They moved,
bro.
They moved. They talked with each other. They were sharing daily things about their lives. Like they were convening with each other, getting ready for the show, and
they supported anything that we did.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing right now. I feel like me building that audience, man. So that's what I'm trying to do, and but at the same time, like I said, I'm trying to do my due diligence and figure out what's the most efficient way for me to build that. And it's always something to learn.
When you build that audience, do you envision funneling people into the studio, or is it just like, nah, this is just totally unrelated?
It'll be something separate to what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? I like the studio game, but once I feel like I did really good in that business model, I want to kind of switch to something else and do something else for sure.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now. It's like a whole different business model.
Yeah.
For sure. You know what I mean? But I love it though. I love the studio still. But it's time to set new goals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of keep on doing the same thing over and over and over.
I get you.
Absolutely.
Well, I just want to say thank you for like taking the time to like sit with me and like, you know, unveil, your processes and how you got to where you are right now, especially just, you know, paving the path of like where you're going next.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to give you the camera, you know, to kind of sign off and tell anybody how they can connect with you. I'm gonna throw up your lower third right here.
Yeah.
I have his links to both Hendo Loft, Hendo Studio, to his personal IG. We can add the Hendo Unplugged. The Hendo Unplugged YouTube channel is also in the description. So please go to those, connect with him, follow him. If you got work and you're in San Diego and you want to get something done and you still want access to these pro photo shits while they're here, you get me? And while he's here educating, please go take advantage of that. He's going to treat you guys like family. But yeah, please let the people know how they can connect with you.
Man, before I even go that far, I want to appreciate you, man, because I swear to God, like, bro, like you're a really big piece of the puzzle for me in my success in this studio, especially when it comes to the podcasting. Like, bro, like I would not be here, you know, if it wasn't for you. Like that was monumental, you know what I mean? The things that you taught me and the things that you contributed to the studio. And I love it because like you didn't, you know, you did it out of the love. You did it because you wanted to help, man. You got a good heart, you know what I'm saying? And bro, it literally changed my life, you know what I mean? So I appreciate everything you're doing, you know what I mean? And if I can help you any way to get anything you need, I'm here for you because you helped me, you know what I'm saying? And we need more people in this world, you know, that with hearts like that, you know, who just, you don't try to, you know, take things from people. You just want to give and just want to see somebody do good, you know what I mean? And you're one of those people. So without you, I'm nothing. I swear to God. But yeah, if you want to get in contact with me, it's Courtney Hendo on my personal web stuff. You know what I mean? It's my Courtney Hendo, but Hendo Studios is the studios handle, and I got Hendo Unplugged. So all Hendos, Hendo Unplugged, Courtney Hendo, and Hendo Studios. But yo, support Copy and Still though. Support, you know, Chris, man, because it's a good dude. We need more people like this in this industry. You know what I mean? And people just want to take everything and use you for everything. So when I come across, you know, good people with good business skills, you want to support, man, because that's what we need. Thank you to Chris, man, for sure.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And again, it's been just a joy working with you and seeing you go through your journey and just seeing you use the game that I was given. You get me? Like I can tell a lot of people how to do shit, and you're actively fucking doing it. Like you're racking up the episodes, treating everything like a drop in a bucket, and you're not fucking editing. You get me? Like you're not bogged down, and you're still getting the quality. And it means that, you get me, there's success to be had in this sauce and how we put things together.
Absolutely.
So, and that encourages me to, like, you know, push past these like limiting beliefs and like really, you know, embrace this fucking bringing people on board. There's no gatekeeping. I'm tired of gatekeeping. But yeah, man, I just wanted to say thank you again for coming on.
Anytime, baby.
To all you out there, thank you for watching this episode of How to Copy and Steal. Again, this was produced by a live studio. If you want a show like this, whether you are selling a product or service, I want to help you build a show around that product or service. I want to help you, you know, go beyond just a back and forth podcast. Let's share a screen. Let's fucking do a wireless cam. Let's put products behind you. Like, I want to bring your brand to life with a show and live to tape production. So yeah, with all that said, Thank you for joining me, Courtney.
We out, baby.
We are out of here.
Hey.
Take care. Bye, everybody.
Hey.
Do my thank you.